Speaking Human.
Today on Speaking Human, we swipe, tap, and laugh through 4 decades of SNL, spanning from Belushi to Murphy to Carvey to Sandler to Ferrell to Faye to Samberg to Wiig. Woo! Live from Monsters Unlimited, it's Speaking Human!
Speaking Human.
Welcome to Speaking Human, the official podcast of Monsters Unlimited, a creative agency with a business brain. I'm Shad Conley, Communications Director at Monsters Unlimited, and I've got a fever, and there's only one cure. More cowbell!
You've totally been practicing that, haven't you?
For years.
All leading up to this moment. And I'm Patrick Jebber, Creative Director at Monsters Unlimited, and I love Jared Walken. I can't compete.
I thought you were going to be like, you stole my routine! This is your first time checking out the podcast. Our goal on Speaking Human is to simplify complex marketing topics. We toss aside all the buzzwords and mumbo-jumbo to focus on how marketing can bring brands and people together. On today's episode, we're talking mobile apps, but not just any app. The new SNL 40 app, which packs almost every sketch from Coneheads to Cowbell to Celebrity Jeopardy! Into your mobile device for easy access. We've got 40 years of funny to cover, so let's get swinging.
I know what you mean. I mean, this is a historic night. We're here in Studio 8H.
I mean, yeah, just think of all the amazing sketches and characters and catchphrases that happen right here.
You're talking like Coneheads, Gumby, Jane, you ignorant slut.
Buckwheat, Stefan, we're here to pump. You are.
Swing the bears, yeah, that's a ticket. You look marvelous.
Yo, Sully, that's wicked.
The nerds, the bees, and Toontas on the pedal.
Rosammer, Dana.
Well, isn't that special?
It's a chronic
What?
cult of SNL.
It's a chronic
what cult of SNL. Cheeseburger, and Chevy Chase Strong.
And no one can resist my sweaty balls.
Dana Carvey and Sandler and Farley and Ross. Hey, Justin, what's that?
It's my in a box. My in a box, baby.
Oh, I'll get that for you, buddy.
Thanks, man.
What you just heard was a clip from the SNL 40th Anniversary show, which had more per-seat star power than possibly any event in television history. The show pulled in a whopping 23.1 million viewers, the most eyes on an NBC program since the finale of Frasier in May 2004. Needless to say, it was a resounding success for the network. We're going to be talking about the show itself and the marketing push behind it, but we're really going to be focusing on today is the SNL 40 app released to coincide with the anniversary show. Patrick, can you tell us a little bit more about this app?
I can. First off, Shad, this is the official app of SNL. The official app. Saturday Night Live, for all you who don't know what an acronym is, SNL. It has access to thousands of skits, or as they call them, sketches. You know, tomato, potato.
Same thing. It's all the same.
It gets smarter as you use it, and it learns about your tastes in the sketches. So that may or may not work for everyone. I feel like my tastes are all over the place, so I don't think the app was able to pinpoint how to feed me what I like.
I couldn't figure you out, huh? You're so complex.
I think I confused it a handful of times, and it's like, wait, what do you like? I don't know.
Like how the app talks.
That's how I imagine this voice would be if it could talk. It has so many clips, especially the fan favorites, that when you search for something, it's hard not to find what you're looking for. And that's priceless in the SNL world because, as everybody should know, it's an NBC property. And these skits don't exist anywhere else like this. I challenge someone to have the same experience as this app in Hulu. Not going to happen.
No.
You can also share your favorite clips, especially in comedy, that's so important, providing that was really imperative to the app. And lastly, it's a free app, something everyone should love.
I mean, for as much as you get within this app is pretty crazy and pretty awesome as well. As we dive into this app here a little bit, let's give people a framework for where we're coming from on this. Why don't you tell us, Patrick, what's your experience with SNL? What's your exposure to it? Do you love it? Do you hate it? Does it mean nothing to you?
I might be an old fogey when it comes to SNL. I honestly try to continue to watch the new seasons, but if you ask me what my favorite skits are, I'll still gravitate to the Will Ferrell skits of old. the Jimmy Fallon, the Andy Samberg, the Bill Hader, the Chris Farley, the Eddie Murphy, the Bill Murray days. Man, I feel like it's the intro all over again. But some of those seasons had a lot of laughs for me personally, and those are the ones that I like, the older stuff. Generally speaking, I'm a fan of the show and its longevity. There's not a lot of things that stick around for 40 years, especially television. So it says...
Yeah, not at all.
Yeah, I mean, so it says something about the way the writers and producers have been able to adapt and remain relevant. You know what I mean? It's so incredibly hard to do that for so long.
No, it's kind of become this, comedy institution. And it's funny, you talk about, I think it's a generational thing too, obviously, You're young and it connects with you more so, and then people will look back and they'll be like, wow, they're not as good as the older cast, or they're not as good as the original cast. I feel like every generation does that.
Yeah.
And you have, I know at least I have, my one specific slot of time when it was most peak influential to me, and that I look back on the most fondly. And that, for me, is the early 90s, the Dana Carvey, Mike Myers, Dennis Miller, Adam Sandler, Chris Farley phase. Pre-teen, teen years where it was like I was watching it all the time, and it was probably soaking in the most. I thought it was the funniest. So that, has a place in my heart, and I don't know that I'll ever think it's as good, but I also don't stay up on Saturday nights and really watch it. It's not like it is at that peak time, which I think is specifically designed for, youth, teenagers, college kids around that time.
So what you're saying is you fall asleep after Jeopardy.
Oh, yeah. So I'd say we're both fans. We're both coming at this with an appreciation for the show and the product they're providing through this app, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So then let's talk about the app. You're a mobile development guru, some would even say. It's part of your job. It's something you do, something you enjoy. What do you think of this app?
Well, I mean, if you were to call me a guru, I'd say, stop. I really prefer Ninja.
A mobile app assassin?
A mobile app assassin. That's nice.
Because you're killing mobile apps.
Because I'm killing it out there. This app, I think, does some things very well. In my opinion, it's very well thought out. It has tons of quote-unquote bells and whistles that really pack that entertainment punch that I think is necessary for them because they have that longevity that I talked about. But it has so much content. Take, for instance, the fact that you can just explore seasons and pick a person you really like on the show and see a bunch of skits that have that person in it. Priceless, man. You really can't do that anywhere else. And something that a lot of people might overlook is that this app was built to really transcend the 40th anniversary altogether. It promotes upcoming episodes and new sketches. And this is really, really crucial, I think, because it's not just a marketing tool for the anniversary. It has legs to be something that promotes the show well into the future. So those are some of the things that I think it does really well.
Yeah, and that, that last one you mentioned that stuck out to me that I thought was just kind of marketing genius here was you kind of have this anniversary celebration that's, it's designed to remind you why you love the show, why you love the SNL brand, and then you're putting it on your phone and it's an everyday reminder. So it's a long-term kind of, oh yeah, I do love this. Oh man, how funny this show is. It's not just this one night on NBC that's reminding you of it. It's this app that you can access all the time that's reminding you of it, which is incredibly smart. It shows you the power of what a mobile app can do when used in that branding and marketing way.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like when we say that it's well thought out, every nuance inside the app supports that overall mission of reminding people what they love about SNL,
Yeah, that's the other thing that kind of stuck out to me. I just thought the design of the app was really fantastic in the sense that they really thought it out from the user perspective, Mm-hmm. What are some of the different ways people could possibly want to search through sketches, you know what I mean? Do they want to find them by cast member? Do they want to find them by decade? Do they want to search by keywords? You can do all these things in there. It's kind of amazing, and it allows you to personalize the experience to what your cast is or the stuff you like the most, while also giving you the option to explore and find things in different ways and discover new things. Just really well put together.
Yeah, and I had found sketches that I didn't even know existed, and they were really funny. Ones that I may not have ever seen again because I missed them the first time around.
Yeah, the video play on there was just so fast and smooth.
Yeah, they did a really good job. They don't make you click on a video for it to start playing. They immediately start playing things right there in that stream as you scroll through them. So they indirectly you're exploring new skits while you're in the app. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's really one of those things that you can get sucked into for like hours. You're just like, all right, I'm just going to watch this. And then you find this other thing, and then they show you something else. Or then you look up a cast member. Then you start watching some of their sketches. It's like the rabbit hole that you just dive in and it just sucks you to the bottom.
Yeah, I didn't realize it was 3 weeks later and I've grown a full beard. And
yeah, there's like birds coming out of it. So yeah, I mean, they really went the extra mile and put together something that people are going to want to keep on their phones and come back to.
Longevity, man, just like the show.
Exactly. So speaking of the show, talking about how this app fits into the overall marketing efforts that went around this whole SNL 40 thing, what did you think about that?
I think they really hit a home run with their birthdays / anniversary. I don't really know what they call it. I think they call it anniversary because it just felt like a party.
It was a lot of fun, and it seemed epic, and that was how they hyped it up, ahead of time in the marketing, and it actually really lived up to that. So, I mean, all around, I thought it was pretty impressive, surprisingly impressive, I'd say even.
And coming back to the app, I loved the timing of this app's release. So if you look at it, they released it on February 11th for the first time, 4 days before the 3.5-hour primetime special aired. And just super, super smart about the way that they released it and built up this anticipation, reminding people again why they love the brand, why they should be watching this event the following Sunday, and getting people to talk about it and share clips of their favorite skits, which built this nostalgic windstorm that they were able to ride off of during the event itself.
Yeah, and it was kind of another promotional tool that got people talking and buzzing and obviously paid off in the ratings. A side thing about the app I forgot to mention was bonus points for the emoji set. SNL characters in there like Hans and Franz. I think there's a cowbell.
Yeah.
Debbie Downer. Fits with what they were doing. That was cool.
It was fun for them because it's another thing that people can share.
Yeah. So what'd you think about, did you watch the actual SNL 40 show?
Yeah, I had to watch it.
You mean like you were held down?
I was held down.
Chevy Chase sat on you?
There's just too much hype and secrecy to the whole thing. I was super excited to see what they were going to do. It's that perfect storm that really pulled me in. I wanted to see all those old characters come back and be funny again. Because for some, it might be the last time, and you want to see them. It's like going to see a concert of a band that you grew up with, and you're like, how many times will I ever get to see all these people together again in one place, Oh, God, I just went
like
Debbie
a band you
Downer.
grew up with, like a festival of bands you grew up to. Yeah.
Wah,
As I'm marching
wah.
towards death.
Yeah.
So did you enjoy the show? Do you think the show was a good production?
Yeah, I thought it was pretty good. A couple of my favorite moments were the Justin Timberlake and Jimmy Fallon intro. I really like those two together. They're funny.
Yeah, they always kind of do well.
Yeah, and they had a slew of cameos in that intro, so I liked that. And the Jeopardy stuff, what'd you think of them?
It was typical SNL, man, and which is kind of what everybody says, it was hit or miss. There's stuff that's funny and stuff that just doesn't quite work. That's what the show is, that's what it's always been. They're just, you got talented comedians just throwing stuff out there, and some of it lands and some of it doesn't. Celebrity Jeopardy, I thought, was kind of the highlight. That was fantastic. I liked the Wayne's World. I thought the Seinfeld Q&A was pretty funny. So it was such a typical SNL. It was just up and down. It reminded me why I love the show, and it made me want to watch the show more than I do. I'm like, oh, man, I got to start DVRing this. I forgot how much I actually enjoy it when it's hitting.
In our house, we definitely DVR it. I don't always watch it the night of, but that way you can fast forward through all the crap. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's almost made for DVR.
Yeah, which is why the app, I think, works so well, because you can just hit skits. If you don't like that one, just move on to the next one,
Yeah, no, great point. So what do you think, talking about the SNL 40 app itself, what's the top takeaway here for brands?
I think mobile apps can be powerful branding tools, and you look at SNL, and it has one of the most recognizable brands in television history, but they didn't rely on their history and consider it a slam dunk, we're just going to put this out, like you said, put this subpar mobile app out. They really put a lot of care into the features and usability of the app, and I think that shows through, when you do that and you put that thought into it. They looked at it from the user's perspective on how do our users want to search for things. They want to search for them by the person, or by the time period, or whatever that is. Think of it from their perspective, and you build something that can really enhance your brand and even re-energize it in a lot of ways, which I think this app did.
Yeah, same exact thought Basically, this was just a perfect example of how a valuable, well-designed app can enhance your brand, stretch out that reach a little farther and remind people of their connection to their brand and on a daily basis, why they love you, why you're a part of their life, why you're connected in some way. The other thing about it, as I mentioned, it was just so clearly designed with the end user in mind, which is a lot of times missed. This one was something that they thought of every possible thing people could want with it.
And then, the execution of it is done really well. I mean, there's a lot of sloppy execution. They could think it through and then they put it together and it's junk.
Yeah, no, that's true. I think from start to finish, it was pretty much a home run.
Yeah, I think overall, very, very positive experience, yes?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think the reason we're even talking about it today, it's one of the better apps we've come across in a while, and it just was good stuff. Download the SNL app now, people.
Disclaimer, we are not affiliated or associated with SNL or NBC in any way.
We're not? Why is Lauren Michaels here with all these bags of money right now?
Is he here with bags of money? I did not know this. Can you bring those in to the office right here, please? Yes.
Standing outside, waving them around.
He shouldn't do that. People will take those bags of money from him. Well, that's it for today's episode. You can find current and past episodes of the podcast at speakinghuman.com. You can also subscribe to Speaking Human in the iTunes store.
Oh, okay. Email us with your thoughts on the SNL 40 app or any questions or comments whatsoever. Feedback at thinkmonsters.com. That's feedback at thinkmonsters.com. We'll be back in 2 weeks with another episode of Speaking Human. Catch you then, humans.
Speaking Human.
Today on Speaking Human, we swipe, tap, and laugh through 4 decades of SNL, spanning from Belushi to Murphy to Carvey to Sandler to Ferrell to Faye to Samberg to Wiig. Woo!
I think you need to speed that up a little.
You think so?
Yeah, just a little bit.
That's really slow. Jesus Christ, is he ever going to stop? Let me see if I can do it faster.
I liked your woo.
Woo.
I gotta have more cowbell, baby. Guess what? I got a fever. And the only prescription is more cowbell.